I like that sound. I like that sound. I like that sound. All right, let me stop playing.
Oh, she tell me that she love me and she faithful. Yeah, yeah. I cannot trust no hoe cause they like Satan. Yeah, I mean, Yanni got me icy like a glacier. Yeah, yeah. The vibes are up in your bitch for the taking. Yeah, yeah. As long as they printed, nigga.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Kojo, and you're back watching another episode of Honest Here. If this is your first time in my channel, please make sure that you're subscribed so you can stay up to date with everything that I'm up to. If this is your first time watching, let me tell you what Honest Here is all about. It's basically a show where you submit your music, I listen to it once, and I rate it. The rating system is based off of a 1 to 5 scale, and I'm judging lyrics, hook, production, marketability, and replay value. So let's get right to it. So the first song we're listening to today is Mr. Chau by G5Ls. He's a rapper out of Queens, New York. Shout out to Queens, big Queens. So let's give his record a spin and see what we think.
Throw it in the bag, don't hang it up. He bought that? Cause I'm a quiet fly, young guy. I could pay for your friend too, no lie. Cause I'm a quiet fly, young guy. I could pay for your friend too, no lie. First date we went to town. Bought the Beamer just to hear it. I'm the biker denim, sold in 20,000.
Okay, so that was song number 1, Mr. Chau by G5Ls. To be honest, that record really didn't do much for me. It didn't really like get me excited or get me up out of my seat or, have me really, reactionary at all. I kind of just was listening. But it's not a bad record, but I guess it just wasn't for me. Yeah. So let's get into this breakdown and let's rate this song. For the lyrics, I'm gonna give it a 3. It's right in the middle for me. The lyrics, to me, I kind of knew what you were talking about and I kind of get where you were going with it, but they weren't really exciting and it's just it's just there. Like there's some artists who take lyricism to the next level. There's some artists who have none at all. I don't think you fall in either of those categories. I think it's right there in the middle, especially with this record. So I'm gonna give it a 3 and yeah. For the hook, I'm gonna give it a 3 as well. Just wasn't really, anything there for me to be like, oh, I'm really rocking with this hook. And also I kind of was confused between what was the hook and what was the verse. But one thing about the hook that did stand out was the ad-libs. They were kind of comical and funny, so I'll give you kudos for that. But as far as the performance on the hook and the execution of it, wasn't really feeling it that much. So I'm gonna give it a 3, and yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3. For production, I'm gonna rock with a 4 on this one. The beat wasn't bad, it was cool. Kind of reminded me of La La by Lil Wayne from the Carter 3. It's one of my favorite songs, so shout outs to the xylophone. It sounded like there was a xylophone playing on this record, but I wasn't really sure what instrument was being played, but the beat was cool. Very calm beat, not too distracting. And those are my favorite kind of beats, so I'm gonna rock with a 4 for production on this particular record, and yeah. For marketability, for this I'm gonna give it a 2. To me, when I hear this song, I don't really hear it doing much outside of the region of New York. Like when I think about it, is the little white boy in Kansas gonna rock with this record? Probably not. Is the little white girl in Florida gonna rock with this record? Probably not. This record is probably made for a young New York kid, or not even a kid, but like a young adult from New York who knows Mr. Chau or knows Tao or knows the city and stuff like that. So I don't really see this record growing much outside of this region of New York City, and especially if you don't have that knowledge of the city, it won't really sit with you. So, in my opinion, I'm gonna give marketability a 2 for this one. And for replay value, I'm gonna give it a 2 as well. I don't really see myself playing this song much. Not necessarily for me, like I said before. And in reality, there's nothing really like drawing me back to the record right now. And I'm still thinking about it right now. Like, okay, did I really want to hear this one again? And it's not really there for me. So I'm gonna give replay value a 2 on this one. If you have better records, please, prove me wrong. But for this particular record, Mr. Chau, I'm gonna give it a 2. Okay, song number 2 is Salty by Ashley Sophia. She's an R&B artist out of Harlem. Shout out to Harlem. Hi, Giselle. I'm a stickler for R&B, so let's see what you got. I'm gonna be harsh on this one if it's not good, so. So, that was song number 2, Salty, by Ashley Sophia. I was impressed. It's a really good record, really good record. Like I said, I am big on R&B music, so I was gonna be a little bit harsher on you if it wasn't a good record, but vocally you sound really good. I love the writing on this record. I think there's a point A and a point B to this song, and I think you carried it pretty well throughout it. So let's get into this rating. For the lyrics, I'm gonna give it a 4.5. Yes, pretty high, but the writing was very potent on this song. I feel like you set a scene, and I feel like I can close my eyes and kind of picture what you were talking about or who you were talking to or what your purpose was. And I think you executed the lyrics pretty well on this song. And you know, I think R&B music, especially when it comes to the writing of it, it's supposed to make you feel something emotionally. I could see people relating to these lyrics from an emotional level. So definitely gonna rock with a 4.5 on this record. For the hook, I'm also gonna give it a 4.5. I think it was very, very melodic. And that question that you asked, do I look salty to you? Very rhetorical, but it's very it's hard hitting. It nails the point home. I could definitely picture you performing this song live and all your fans just singing the hook back to you. And that's an important part of a song is that if people can literally sing your lyrics back to you, I think you have a pretty good one in your hands. So for the hook, I'm going 4.5. For production, probably my favorite part of the song. I love the way the beginning of the song was straight beat for probably 30 seconds. It was just it was very mesmerizing. So I'm gonna give production a 5 on this one. I think it was just very, very come here. That's what the beat did for me. So I was engaged once I heard the beat. Once I heard the beat drop, I was like, okay, where am I going with it? So definitely really feeling the production on this song, and we're giving that a 5. For marketability, I'm also gonna give this one a 5. I think, like I said, I could picture this song being performed in front of a large group of people, especially women. I know how y'all be. So I could definitely see this song doing big on a live show set, just relating to a lot of the women's needs and wants as women in relationships and stuff like that. I think it's a very, 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 great topic to touch on in your music. It's about being mistreated and being being misinterpreted is the word I'm looking for. So I think this song has a really good chance to do really big things, for sure. And with that being said, I think it's pretty clear that replay value is a 5 for me. I'm actually downloading this song to my phone once I'm done with this. So shout out to you, Ashley Sophia. Really good record. I'm giving it a 5 on replay value. All right, let's get into one more song before we get up out of here. Song number 3, Go Thru by Joff, another artist out of New York. Shout out to New York coming in heavy on this one. Last episode, you guys let San Diego come through and take the crown and shit. So I'm rocking with y'all today. So let's give this record a listen.
Help me up. When my head was to the ground, I swear nobody helped it up. When I think about my past, I swear my life was kinda tough. Sometimes life is such a bitch, well I'ma treat it like a slut. I say to myself, sometimes it's hard for me to open up. Used to put the blame on others, now I gotta own it up. I've been high of life, I guess it's time for me to sober up. Drink to numb the pain, so can somebody please back when I was scared, you was never there. You ain't really cared, that was something that I feared. I ain't hear from you, I ain't seen you in some years. Even when you was hurting, I will always wipe your tears.
All right, so that was song number 3, Go Thru by Joff. It was a cool song. I feel like I've heard that kind of song a million times before. I think it's the sound. I think the sound is a one sound that has been repeated a lot. And I think I spent a lot of time just trying to figure out where I've heard this song before. But that aside, you were speaking some real shit. So definitely, I rock with what you were saying for sure. So I'm rocking with the record. As far as the lyrics go, I'm gonna give it a 4. As I said, you were speaking some real shit. I could tell that you recently wrote this song because from the Juice WRLD line, the Juice WRLD shout out, I could tell that it's a recent record. Aside from that, you were definitely, speaking about your pain and things that you've gone through and, things that you've experienced in life and things that, have made you what you are today or, the journey that you're on. So I can definitely respect that. So lyrically, I'm gonna give this one a 4. For the hook, I'm gonna give it like a 3.5, 3. I'm in that range right there with the hook. It was cool, repetitive, but not really memorable. Didn't really hit for me as far as on the memorability part. But it was a cool hook. Definitely, niggas don't know what you go through sometimes. So I definitely get what you're saying. But it was a cool hook. It wasn't really outstanding to me, but it was cool. Also, I feel like on a record like that, the hook should be a bit more theatrical. It should be a bit more of a moment. And I think you gotta take advantage of like moments like that and just like kind of put your all into something like that. Because if you're gonna be talking about what you're talking about in the verse, the hook gotta hit like, it gotta be the home run, So definitely like think about, making a hook like that on a song like that more grand and more theatrical and more of a moment. For production, I'm gonna give it a 4. The beat reminds me of something that comes from the A Boogie tree. And A Boogie's one of my favorite artists, so that's always gonna, sit well with me in particular. As far as the beat though, it was really good. It was good. I can't say that it was a bad beat. One thing that did throw me off is that right in the beginning there was that loud producer tag. And I like producer tags if they mesh in well with the song. But sometimes a nasty, loud producer tag can throw the whole record off. But gladly for this one, it didn't throw me off too much. It was really early in the song, like right as soon as you press play. So I'm going to remember that, but the beat was cool. For marketability, I'm gonna give it a 3. I think if this song falls into the group of other songs that are like it or that sound like it, I'm not sure if it could like break through, like break ground from those particular songs. But what you have to your advantage is that you're speaking real. And real wins more than it loses. So for me, I'm gonna give it a 3 as far as marketability goes. But I definitely feel like you can make better music. And I can tell. I can just tell by the way you delivered this particular record that you can make better music. So I'm gonna give this one a 3 for marketability. And for replay value, I'm gonna give the replay value on this one a 4. I think I definitely want to just run it back a couple more times just to feel what you were saying a bit more, And that's the crazy part. I think this record is a 2, 3, 4 listen record. It's one of them songs where you can't just play it once and kind of understand. I think it has the potential to be played more and felt more, If that makes sense. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. But yeah, I'm gonna give replay value a 4 on this record. So, another episode of Honest here in the books. I want to thank everybody for watching and tuning in. If you've made it this far in the episode, you already know the vibes. You should be subscribed. And if you're not, I'm giving you a few minutes to get that done. But if you are subscribed, thank you. So if you're here, make sure you give my episode a thumbs up and leave a comment. Here's a few rules for Honest here. If you liked the episode, tell me, or put it in the comments. If you didn't like the episode, tell me, or put it in the comments. If you like the song, tell me, or put it in the comments. And if you didn't like a song, tell me and put it in the comments. But shout out to everybody for watching once again, and we out of here.
Oh, she tell me that she love me and she faithful.